In this video, it's time for a relatively novice driver. You've done an awful lot of driving since passing your test back in February.
Yes, but predominantly in Semiautomatic.
Yes, and you're getting to grips with a Smart. We are in the Smart ForTwo that we currently own. It has an automated manual semi-automatic transmission, so that's going to be something completely new for you. And there's other weird things like the pedals pivoting on the floor, so they have a slightly different action, slightly different feel to
I love you telling me this when that's the road there.
Yeah, and we're off on a 200-mile adventure today, so we will be sharing the driving. So
this is our Smart Art
This
expedition.
is literally you getting used to the experience of driving a Smart. So the transmission, we'll just talk through it. You're currently in neutral. Foot on the brake when you're switching positions, so a bit like Betty, our Australian Ford that you have driven briefly with the automatic transmission to tow this very car.
Okay, wait. So when I'm changing position, because this is semi-automatic, so it's like a gearbox, isn't it?
Yeah.
So even if I'm riding up the gears, I'm pressing the brake?
No.
No. But
No,
if
you're only pressing the brake to switch from neutral to drive, which is this way, or to go into reverse, which is back.
Okay. And how about riding up and down the gears?
You can either press this button, which will put it in automatic mode. It won't at the moment, we're not in gear.
You don't recommend it?
It's not very good, but it might be easier for you to
start with.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then it's forward to go up the gearbox and backwards to come back down.
Okay.
And if you come to a stop, it'll automatically put it back in first.
Okay.
So you haven't necessarily got to come back down the gearbox. Are we ready then?
Do I have a choice?
No.
No, I think so.
Foot on brake.
Foot on brake. Put her
Across.
into drive.
We'll press the button to put her into automatic, so you're not going to worry about changing gear for the moment. Handbrake is still on.
Okay, handbrake is there. Okay, I'm going to indicate. Handbrake off. She's not going to move though because I got my foot on the brake.
No.
But when
Also, she hasn't got a
brake.
creep. She hasn't got a creep, so she's not like Betty. You will actually have to accelerate. There we go.
Why do I get talked into these things?
That's the first gear change. So we're into second. There she goes again, third. Does that feel weird?
Yeah, she's not very immediate in the gear change.
No, they are.
There's a hesitation.
Slow. But I thought it'd be interesting to see if it's a different experience for you being a relatively newer driver compared to me as a more experienced driver, because more experienced drivers jump into Smarts and think they're absolutely terrible with the worst gearboxes known to man or woman. So
well, at the moment I'm driving her as an automatic, so it's hard to make a judgment.
But you will find it'll do strange things. It might down change sometimes when you're going downhill. It's all part of the Smart experience.
But I mean, that's highway code stuff, isn't it? You should lower gear to go down a hill, so I can see why it would do it.
Main thing is keep your left foot absolutely rooted to the floor when we come to a stop.
Okay.
That's always the most alien thing for a manual car driver. Or if you drive stick.
The visibility is horrible.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not.
Big chunky C-posts here.
So when
the rear window is quite cloudy.
When you talk about cars,
gear change.
you can do your driving testing. This is not one of them.
It is not.
And there's a reason why.
Yeah, visibility is it.
But even in Chemi, where I've got loads of visibility, I still do huge look arounds.
But because you're using fairly light throttle, I think that makes it a lot easier, a lot smoother rather.
Yeah.
When you start putting your foot down hard, that's when the gear changes tend to feel really slow and sluggish.
Not quite feeling that.
Double kick down there.
That wasn't quite right.
Yeah, it is strange because sometimes your foot goes down but nothing happens because it's doing the gear change.
Yeah. And your instinct is because you put a bit of foot in because you think it's going to stall.
Yeah. Not managed to stall it so far.
Nervous laughter. I assume the speedo is correct on this.
Yeah, it's pretty much there.
I think
it's a few miles an hour, as they always are.
The other thing with this car is the ride is quite firm.
Yep.
Which is just the nature of the car. It's not anything you're doing as a driver.
No, it is. But also because it's quite short, it's quite choppy in terms of ride, so it bucks around a bit.
So I still need to brake at the junction.
You still need to brake, yep.
Looking for our space.
That's very good. Your left foot absolutely down to the floor. Perfect.
20.
So at any time you can take over from the automatic gearbox. If you push the lever forwards or backwards, it goes into manual mode, and then that little display in front of you will tell you what gear you're in, where it says A at the moment.
Ah, yeah.
So it holds the gear for a bit of engine braking as you go downhill.
But probably could have done with a bit more.
But then, yeah, because it can't see the hill, it then goes back up the gearbox. Which is why, to be honest, manual mode is better. The automatic mode is a bit dim-witted. I've given a wiper test already. There we go.
I couldn't see very well.
Yeah. Good wiping performance. A bit like the second generation, the wiper gets closer to the edge on this side than it does that side. But I really like the wipers.
Now this car is a subject of discussion in our house at the moment.
Yes.
Because for us, this is a flipper. However, I feel there are two people in the household that aren't quite convinced on that.
Yeah. Actually, Mini HubNut hates the car.
Does he hate it though? Now he's ridden in it.
Oh, I don't know. He might be softening a bit, but yeah, little Miss HubNut quite fancies it as her first car. But I don't think a semi-automatic gearbox is what she needs for her first car.
Also, she has a rather nice 10 plate that needs to go on a car.
She does. So yeah, I don't think this is the one. Incidentally, with Miss HubNut aboard, we get a bit more storage space. We are demonstrating the staggered offset seating quite nicely today. I'm pretty much fully back, and the idea being that you get more shoulder room. We are a particularly extreme example of it.
Can I just say, from the perspective of a shorter person, I'm not all the way forwards.
No.
The seat's got more give.
Yeah.
I had to put the seat back. I've never had to do that.
So yeah, when you change gear, you don't have to move your throttle foot at all. Some say the gear changes are smoother. I don't know why I did that. Suddenly we're in fourth.
Because we went downhill.
Yeah. Yeah, you can leave your foot where it is. Some say it's smoother if you lift, which I think it can be if you're doing a full bore acceleration, but generally you can just leave your throttle foot where it is. Just let the car suss it all out. This is the automatic button just there on the side. So we're a bit further down the road. How's it feeling?
Well, I've opened her out to just under 60. I say this, we're headed into Aberrath, which is 40, then 20.
Then 20.
Yes. But what she feels very, very planted to the road. I know that there was, when they first came out, there was issues with them falling over and whatnot, but she definitely doesn't feel like that at all. She feels very planted. She leans nicely into the corners, possibly even more so than Shemi, to be honest. Yeah,
it's a strange old driving position because you sit quite high up off the ground, but the floor is also high. So I can't see why they were a little bit tippy back in the early days.
A little bit tippy.
This is actually a Mark 7 Smart, by which time they'd upgrade the stability program and fitted the larger 698cc engine. And it's just crazy to think it's a Mark 7. The Smart was introduced in 1998. This is a 2006.
But it was a very, very new car, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, oh, there we go. She's trying. Oh, that's it. There we go. But yeah, she feels very capable on leaning into the corners and whatnot.
Yeah. Ultimately, they will understeer because very skinny front tyres.
Yeah, I'm not going to get stupid.
But I've been driving briskly with absolutely no issues.
Briskly?
Yeah. Right, absolutely put your foot down now.
Hang on.
And marvel at nothing happening.
Okay, ready,
Yep.
go.
Oh no, accelerating in gear. Well done, car. We're going uphill, so that's why we're not exactly tearing along.
No.
But wind noise building because we're in a Cabrio and the roof doesn't seem to seal very well at the front. But hopefully we'll get the roof at back. It's going to get quite hot today.
Well, that's what we're told anyway.
Yeah, you're doing very well. You seem to have got used to it very quickly.
Well, I have done a lot of driving.
Yeah, you've done a lot of driving in one car.
Yes, both pre and post test.
Yeah. Right, journey brings us to Aberystwyth, and perhaps your biggest test yet, because a number of opportunities where your left foot will be twitching.
Yes, it already was, because of course you drop into a 20 coming into Aberystwyth, and we hit traffic, so I was kind of like, oh, I need to change gear. but I don't need to change gear.
No.
Car does it for me. God, she's queen to cancel that off, isn't she?
Yeah.
I don't
They're a
think-
bit clunky, them
They're
stalks.
a bit, aren't they? But yeah, as I say, the Corduroy's lovely. It's hilarious when she thinks she's fierce when you come to a stop and then try and lift
Oh
her
yeah,
off.
we had one incident where you accidentally ended up in neutral because you moved the control without your foot on the brake.
Because someone didn't tell me that that's what
Yeah.
I need to do.
Yeah, if you put it in drive without your foot on the brake, it
Where are we
won't
going
go
on this?
into
Right
gear.
again?
We'll be going right to Llanbaden.
But yeah, I mean, she feels hilariously fierce. When she goes, she lifts her nose up.
Yeah.
And also, when you're doing maybe 60, she has got a growl to her. It's really funny.
I like the growl. It's like your car. Your
Yes.
little Daihatsu, that sort of grrr.
Yeah, I'm so fierce. Okay, little car, if you say so. Doing well on the roundabouts today.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, so there's that is one issue with the Smart. So you put your foot down, it takes a while for something to happen.
Yeah, and your instinct, particularly if you drive a manual normally, is to push the pedal to try and get something.
Yeah.
It's incredible visibility. So
Yeah, someone has fitted blind spot mirrors,
they
to
are
this
helpful
car.
actually.
and very wisely so, because the standard mirrors are not great. They are better in the second generation.
The other thing is, how wide is this car? Because obviously Chemy's very narrow.
I think they're probably fairly similar.
Yeah, but because in Chemy there's not much car.
Yeah.
There's a lot of car here, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, kind of guessing the width is interesting.
Quick shout out to the Vale Rado Railway.
Yeah, you can see a video on there on our channel.
Yeah.
I'm going to go before that much, you know.
Plenty of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Cancel signal, right signal again.
Come on, Zafira, what are we doing?
Me and Zafira are besties these days.
Yeah. Apparently we're following him all the
We've
way.
been everywhere together.
Maybe he's going to the sculpture park as well.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
We're still 20 along here. This is a long 20.
Yeah.
When I did my driving test, I was absolutely scoping for the 20 in case I'd missed it, but no, it's miles.
I think it is time for the next level of your initiation. So if you press the button, does that take it back into manual? Yes, now we're in manual mode. Are you ready for this? Acceleration, you're doing the gears. It won't let you do anything that'll damage the
Right,
engine.
so with the gears,
Yep,
I don't need to press anything, just push up and push down.
yep. So
Okay.
forward takes you up the gearbox, backwards brings
Okay.
you back down.
And is she happy where she has to go off?
Yep, perfectly happy. Got one displayed on the dashboard.
Okay.
So move away when it's safe to do so.
Excuse my language. Might edit that out.
Well, listen to you turboing.
I am taking my foot off the accelerator when I'm changing the gears.
Yeah, you can do. You don't have to. You can just leave it where it is.
I think that's natural because you're using the clutch. So
Yeah.
Where are we? Fifth gear. We're doing 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's entirely appropriate. You can do 40 in fifth as well.
Maybe sixth.
Yeah, above 55 she's alright. A bit like your Charade. Your Charade doesn't want top gear until we're over 50, really.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't like
Very
to sit
tall
in it if you
gearing.
drop down.
Yeah.
Aye.
So back down.
Fourth.
There you go. Just leave her in fifth.
Oh yeah, fifth. Not fourth.
There you go. Absolute natural.
She feels a different beast when you're driving her on.
Yeah, and it feels like you've got a bit more control.
Yeah.
And like I say, she won't let you do anything stupid. If you try and downshift too much, she just won't do it.
Okay,
It's
that's
out of
fair
spec of where she expects the revs to be. And similarly, if you were to just come to a stop now without touching the gear lever, it'll put it back into first gear.
Any idea?
That's a good sign. I think that one may be broken.
Yeah, I think that.
We're outside of school hours now, so it should be 40.
It's okay. We're
Yeah.
still saying 40.
Yes, these electronic signs can be a little
Temperamental.
temperamental. But there we go.
I suspect some of them might have had help as well.
So what are you not loving about the Smart experience?
What am I not loving about the Smart? I'm not loving the visibility at the back. However, you just deal with it differently because actually your side mirrors are quite effective in covering that space, and make sure you turn all the way back. But you can see crucially if there's anything right behind you. It's left and right that's a bit more difficult. You really need to look. That's pretty much it really.
Stalks?
Oh, the stalks are so clunky.
They are very clunky.
So
it's not quite what you expect, but yeah, they are clunky. Now for the drive home. So we're having a good old hurtle along in the Smart. Are you having a nice time?
I'm having a lovely time in the Smart.
There has been much revving and much acceleration and fun cornerings. I think someone's enjoying the go-kart-esque handling.
But it's not though. Like Shemi, when you throw Shemi around, she lets you know about it.
Yeah, she's got no front anti-roll bar.
You feel like
she
she's
does
going to fling you, but
this one's quite tight.
Doesn't, and she will hold into corners and stuff. So yeah, it's good fun.
It's a good road to enjoy yourself on, to be fair.
It is a lovely road. I am, by the way, this doesn't mean I'm a total rebel and hoon monkey. I am doing this sensibly.
Yeah, you're slowing down where your sight lines are not very good, as you should, but this is one of my favourite driving roads in the entire world. So how are we finding the semi-automatic gearbox? You haven't put it in auto mode since you switched to manual mode.
No, because this is definitely a car of two personalities. When you put it in the auto, it doesn't always judge very well on the gearing, and it's quite slow to react.
Yeah.
So for example, if you go down a hill, it'll drop down, and then it doesn't pick you back up again.
Yeah,
so there's
very much.
Pause at the bottom of a hill before you go up another hill. Obviously, can't see hills, so it doesn't know. But yeah, that's one side of it. But then you do the, what's it called, semi-automatic? Is that what it's called? The semi-automatic is marvellous fun.
Yes, you're definitely having a very lovely time. Good, I'm very happy. This is only really your second road test.
Yeah.
After Giselle the GSA.
Giselle was a completely different beast because she's so involved. Steering's very heavy until you pick up speed. But yeah, this is lovely. The only thing I will say about the ride is just don't hit any raised ironworks or anything, because it hurts.
It just goes bang and breaks your spine.
It does.
Fun times.
So that's many miles covered in the Smart. My first time driving a semi-automatic. It has a few little issues. The ride, if you hit anything, is unpleasant. The stalks are quite difficult and clumsy in your hands. I don't like the stitching on the steering wheel. And in automatic, it's very slow to respond if you go from downhill to uphill. And the down changes can be a little slow as well. You need two in this, where in a manual you probably need one down change. However, I've had a lovely day driving this thing. It sticks to the road like glue. You can throw it into corners.
Yes, notice that.
It's the way the little nose comes up as soon as you're heading off. It's really fun to take off a roundabout up to 60. It's very much fun. But yeah, I have had a fantastic time driving this little Smart. Oh, I forgot to mention, I made it go pew twice. Not a full pachu. It's a very cute little turbo noise. But yeah, that concludes my first drive in the Smart car. And we will be sad to see this one go. Maybe she doesn't have to go. But